So let's talk about losing. I know when it comes to day trading, everybody online, social media, they highlight the wins. They focus on the positive. I can be guilty of doing that at times too, but today I want to talk about losing because there's always going to be wins, there's going to be losses, and losing is a part of the game. And today I think there's some setups that, I was focusing on yesterday, which was Monday, June 12th, and they did not work out. And I want to go over those setups because there's going to be probabilities when it comes to taking these kind of setups. They're going to work, they're going to fail, and it's all about just realizing that nothing works 100% of the time. And when they don't work, that's okay. That's just a part of this game. Welcome to trading, welcome to probabilities. It's not easy to do, but the most important thing is just to accept that outcome, keep moving forward, take trades, and let it be a law of numbers. Now I'm going to go over some of the setups that I took and then kind of do an analysis of the market and maybe why I believe that they did not work. Now, as far as if anybody has questions or they're interested in how I trade options and the setups that I like, I do have a day trading options guide that I created a while ago. The reason that I created it is because I have been getting a lot of questions over the years on social media, and I've basically taken every single one of those questions that I've received and I've answered them there. It's a 63-page downloadable PDF. It has pictures as far as setups that I like, trading mindset, the technical indicators that I like, the different setups that I like. Everything that's in my mind as far as the stock market and all of my years of experience is in that guide. So if you're interested, there's going to be a link in the description below. Now let's go over the setup. So the first setup that I'm going to go over is the one that I took on SPY. Now, normally I don't trade SPY, but every now and then if something looks okay, I'm willing to give it a chance because there can be clean moves on this name. But to be really honest, after this trade, it makes me realize that I just do not like trading SPY. It's my personal preference. It's something that I find to be a little bit more difficult to trade. I'd rather just go to the individual stocks, the big beta stocks, Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, because it's caught a lot of momentum to the upside, but I was willing to give this a chance. So let's go over the setup and why I thought maybe it would work. So as far as the prior day, a little bit of a topping tail. So it did have that breakout, but it seemed to barely just hold that breakout, showing a little bit of weakness, some sellers coming in and having that topping tail candle on the daily chart. So then coming in today, it was trading below prior day high, and this can be a very back and forth market where things move to the upside, they look like they're ready to break out, and then it can give it all back and then vice versa. We are in an uptrend though, so I think this is probably why one of the reasons why it just did not work that well. But as far as the open, had a little bit of a sell-off, broke above the high, I didn't touch it, and then I'm thinking, man, that was a failed high-a-day move, and it's below prior day high, and then it starts to show some weakness, and it gets below VWAP. So I was thinking that if anybody chased this through the highs, thinking maybe we could get above prior day high, possibly have some continuation, they're wrong. And then it made a lower high, and then it got below VWAP, and I was going for the low of day break, thinking that if it breaks that low of day, everybody who was kind of in this 431 area, and maybe even some people from the prior day, not getting continuation to the upside, it could maybe trigger some stops, and then we get a little bit of a sell-off, just for a pullback, not some massive move. Probably a downside gap fill is what I was thinking. So I actually tried to short this in this area for a low a day break, and maybe some continuation. We clearly did not get that. So once it failed to break the lows, and then had a nice move off the lows higher, I ended up getting out of the trade because if it doesn't go my way quickly, I want to just bail because I don't want to be stuck holding and hoping. So that trade did not work. So that was on SPY. Now let's go over the trade that I took on AMD. So AMD, very strong uptrend. Probably one of the reasons why this did not follow through to the downside like I thought it could, just because it's very strong. But the setup seemed all right, so I was willing to take the shot. We're at the 9 EMA. We get a nice move off the 9. Just realizing that it's a few green days in a row. And if you look left, there was a pretty big area of resistance at 130. If this were to clear 130 and get going to the upside, it'd be in full-blown breakout mode. But the breakouts just have not worked really well in this market right now. So as far as the open, pulled back a little bit, got back above VWAP, pulled back again. So it's pretty choppy, not doing anything at this point. It does clear the highs for a nice breakout to the upside, but realizing there was some resistance above, I just left this alone, stayed back, watched the price action. Into that 130, what happens? Does it hold above it? How does it react? Pretty aggressive reaction to the downside off of 130. So a failed breakout. Once this pushed up into 130, failed to break out, realizing that that was a big area of resistance, and then it got below VWAP, started to consolidate below VWAP, and also the market was starting to show a little bit of weakness. I was looking for the low a day break, just because if anybody went for that breakout and then we were to break that low a day, could get some continuation because it could trigger some stops and make people feel some pain and then go the other way because it traps some people to the long side. And it did not do that. So I ended up going for the short, little bit of a move in my favor, and then very quickly reclaim those lows, started to bounce to the upside. It does not go my way quickly. So what am I going to do? I want to get out of the way because I do not want to hold in hope. And if this gets back above VWAP, being that the trend has been to the upside, who knows? It could reclaim VWAP, find some support, and then make its way to the highs, and I don't want to be caught in that. Now let's go over Tesla. So this has been in a very strong uptrend. Red candle the prior day, so showing a little bit of weakness, but still holding up relatively all right. And as far as shorting Tesla, it's a tough thing to do. Just when you think it can come in, it goes a little bit further. So really wanting to focus to the long side, but I don't want to, push it. I'm not going to force anything. So what happens off the open? Red candle, pushes to the upside, fails, gets below VWAP, starts to consolidate below VWAP, gets back above VWAP, so it feels like buyers are taking back control. The overall trend has been up. And then it looks like it's going to make a new high a day. And a lot of times this does work, but there's no such thing as anything working 100% of the time. 250 was a pretty big area of resistance, and I think that's why this probably didn't work. Also realizing that there was a lot of green candles in a row prior to getting to high a day. And then once it gets above this high a day, does not even get to 250 and then immediately rejects it. Those are going to be spots where if it does not go quick, fails to make that new high, realizing that even though Tesla is in an uptrend, it is very extended on the daily. So when you get these stocks that have run like that, sometimes it just takes that one high a day fake out and then it can totally reverse and there can be a big move to the downside. And I don't want to be caught in that. So if it doesn't go quickly, doesn't hold above that new high a day, right? I want to see it get above, hold it, start to speed up pretty quickly in my favor. And when it fails to do that, I just want to bail on the position because I don't want to take a huge loss and then be holding and hoping and have it get way worse. And that was the setups. So you got SPY and AMD showing some weakness. So I tried to the downside, being that there is a strong uptrend in the market. That didn't work. So not fighting the short side and then even trying a long on Tesla, but it's very extended. So the breakout didn't work and then getting out of the way. And I actually went 0 for 3. I didn't lose a lot of money, but they didn't really work. And then after that, I don't want to push it. I can't get a lot going. There's no reason to freak out. I don't want to get overly emotional. When I go 0 for 3 and I'm down on the day, let's not let it get a lot worse. So that's what I'm just going to call it. Sucks that was the case, but it is what it is. Have to accept the good with the bad when it comes to this game. So that's it for the video. I appreciate you watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. And also let me know in the comments what you think of these setups. And as far as maybe how I could have done something a little bit better or different to avoid going 0 for 3 on the day.